Get ready. It's time for the Idaho Podcast with your host, Danny Ventura. Welcome to the Idaho Podcast. I'm your host, Danny Ventura, and really glad to have you with us today. Today, we're very fortunate to have a good friend of mine and actually my neighbor, Julie Cendejas, who has been a realtor here in the Treasure Valley for over 18 years. And Julie's just an awesome person, and we've really come to know her really well. And she's just fantastic at what she does. So welcome, Julie.
Thanks, Dan. It's great to be here.
Absolutely. So I want to just get to know you a little bit, let our audience get to know you a little bit better. So what are some of the most, you've lived here for what, almost 30 years?
Yep, almost 30 years.
And Julie lives with her husband, Ron, who's also just a fantastic guy. They've both been here for about 30 years, as we said. And what are some of the most appealing things about Idaho that makes you call it home?
I love Idaho for so many reasons. Probably the number one reason, which is a silly reason to some, but I love the no humidity and the seasons that we have here. I grew up on the East Coast, so I was used to heavy humidity and I hated that. So moving out here, I love that there was no humidity. The people are awesome. That's the number one thing I hear from my clients, how nice everybody is out here. I love the seasons. I love being able to go hiking and up into the mountains and all of that. And I feel like the busier Idaho gets, the more culture we're getting and more shops and stores and restaurants.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I think the people are amazing here. It's one of the things that Kathy and I love the most about it. We've just felt everyone makes us feel like we're at home, and just like you and Ron have done as well. So
yeah, I hear that all the time.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So what are some of the things that you enjoy doing in Idaho since you've been here for so long?
When I'm not working.
When you're not working.
We used to go camping a lot, which I really enjoyed. There's lots of great camping spots around. I love the Greenbelt. We used to ride our bikes on the Greenbelt all the time in the spring and the summer and the fall. And the Greenbelt is awesome. It goes all the way, to the reservoir, all the way down to Eagle here. And hopefully it'll all connect at one point. It doesn't all connect right now, but for the most part, it's like 25 miles of Greenbelt. So that's a lot of fun. We like going out to all the different restaurants we have. And honestly, just hanging out in our awesome community.
Well, that's true too. And that's another thing I've been really impressed with is the restaurants and the caliber of restaurants, frankly, coming from Southern California, where it's kind of the mecca of culinary cuisine.
Yeah.
We were pleasantly surprised at the quality of the restaurants and especially the level of service we get from servers and so forth that we meet. And it's probably a nice surprise for us.
Yeah, there's a lot of restaurants. A lot of people always say to me, wow, for such a small town or supposedly small town, you have a lot of restaurants. And I think there are tons of restaurants and there's more popping up all the time that I've never even heard of. And then all of a sudden I hear about them and I'm amazed.
Right. And in your trade and what you know so well, having done real estate for so long, you get to talk to and work with so many different people, not only folks that are moving up in the areas and buying larger homes or additional homes, but you also work with a lot of folks who are relocating here to Idaho from various states.
I do.
What would you say in getting to know some of those clients? What would you say is the most common thing that you hear of why they're moving? Why they selected Idaho?
Quality of life. I hear quality of life, cost of living, even though that's gone up quite a bit in the last couple of years, political asylum, all of those reasons. Seasons, that's a big thing.
Seasons are big.
That was for you, Kevin,
huge.
right?
Yeah.
Like Kevin liked the seasons.
My son Kevin, yeah.
So all of those things.
And they're real distinct because so many people, unless of course you live in the East Coast, which you did at one time, where you truly do have the four seasons. But this is a nice west mountain states that allows you the four seasons, and you get the colors, the change of colors in the fall, and you get the warm summers, and you get to enjoy the water
snowstorms
and the snowstorms, which we're having
we're
today.
Having right now.
You'd never know. We're enjoying some cocktails inside, and I love that. So, oh mercy. So what has has really been the most insightful thing to you in your during your 18 years as a realtor? What do you think has been the most insightful of not only the people you've met, but the houses you've shown, the changes that you've seen in 30 years, but what is the most insightful thing you can share?
Of why people are moving here, or what people like about here, or the houses in general?
Maybe a little, all the above.
It's just interesting, even just in the last 5 years, I think seeing the level of houses that the builders are building now and the subdivisions that are coming out, that's exciting to me. I mean, we used to just have a lot of tract homes, and now there's so many amazing subdivisions that are either already out or plan to be out all around Eagle and Star. So I'm excited for that that's coming out. The transportation, Highway 16, I remember when 10 Mile Exchange wasn't even open, and now that's open, and that's so cool to be able to go over the freeway and get to CUNA easily that way, and how much that's growing. I just think it's kind of cool to see how much is growing. I cannot take one certain route for like a week or 2 weeks, and then all of a sudden I take that route and I'm amazed at the apartments, the hotels, the restaurants that are going up in that area, and how quickly.
As the real estate market over the last 2 years, they say 21, 22, 23, 3 years. How has it been overall?
Well, it really started taking off in 2019, I think. That right before the pandemic, we were really, really busy. And then I remember when the pandemic happened, it slowed. And then we thought, oh no. And then it was craziness because everybody wanted to move here. So, and then 2020, 2021, and 2022 were 2.5 years of crazy. Because in middle of 22 is when it started to slow down. So, and I don't think it's ever going back. I think it's just continually going to get busier and busier here once now that Boise's been discovered.
Right. And you shared with me just recently that you have such a high percentage of client referrals that actually I'm not surprised because of you, and I know you and knowing who you are and what an awesome person you are and how good at real estate, how good at it you are. But also share with the audience what is your percentage of client referrals?
Well, last year I just figured out my numbers. It's 87% referral rate, either from my sphere or agent referrals. Other agents find me and refer me their clients, that kind of thing.
All right. And that's I think that speaks, so like I said, speaks volumes about your work and the just how personal you make it for everybody.
It's what you want your business to be about, referrals, right? I mean, I love working. I mean, I love working with new clients too that find me on the internet or whatever, but I love the referrals because I mean, that just means a lot.
Right. It's so cool because every time we've ever spoken about your job, and which is often because we share life with one another, with Ron and Kathy and so forth, it is so, I'm almost jealous because I'm looking for that, but you're so happy at what you do. It makes you just love what you do. And
I love what I do. I absolutely love it.
What do you think are what feeds into that? What are the reasons for that?
It's always different. Every buyer or seller is different in what they're looking for and what's important to them and what they want. And every deal always has some uniqueness. I mean, sometimes they're the same, but rarely they're the same. It's just fascinating to me how they're always different because people are different. So people's emotions come into it all the time too. And it's just, I'm always learning.
Right.
So that's what's kind of fun about it too.
Yeah. I think everyone's looking for that. Everyone's looking for that job that doesn't feel like a job, because if you're happy at what you do, somebody said that. I don't remember who it was, but you'll never work a day in your life, right?
Yeah. So I love that saying.
I do too. And I think you're living that. And
I feel like I'm living that. I love it.
That's fantastic. And I think your clients are the benefactors of that because you do have a true passion for what you do, and it shows.
Thank you.
It radiates. What would you say about, for example, the median price range of homes? How's that changed over the last 5 or 10 years?
It's changed a ton. In fact, I did some little notes. Okay, so back in 2019, our average price for Ada County was $381,000. I know, because you already know it's probably. So in 2003, it was $601,000 for the year, since the year stats just came out. Isn't that crazy?
2003 or 2023?
I'm sorry, 2023.
Okay.
Yeah, 2023, it was 601.
Wow.
Yeah.
Almost double.
For Ada County, for the median, average
almost
price.
Double. Yeah.
Yeah, almost double.
Right. And I know that Californians get a big blame for that.
Yeah. Oregon and Washington too.
Right.
And hey, New Mexico, Arizona. I've had clients all over, but a lot of Californians. Yeah.
Right. A lot of Californians cashing out, making the money they make on their real estate in California and coming here paying cash and really driving prices up.
Mm-hmm.
I know for locals that can be a little aggravating, but in the long run, I hope to see this benefit everybody. And as long as wages will grow and continue to come underneath. Right now, wages are probably a little under where they need to be to support, because so many folks here in Idaho, believe it or not, work. They do long distance travel for work. They call them super commuters because they go back and forth to California or to another state to work.
I find that fascinating.
It is, isn't it? But I think eventually, as the economy changes here and it comes up, it should all. I'm hoping it'll.
Yeah, I'm hoping too.
It'll
Yeah,
balance out. Yeah, for sure.
What
do you see or project over the next 2 years, say 24 and 25, for the real estate market? I know you don't have a crystal ball, so I'm not expecting you to. But just based on your 18 years of experience and what you've seen historically, knowing that some people will say we're in a recession, we're clearly we have inflationary issues, but we have a large presidential election this year. But what do you anticipate or forecast, or what are you hearing?
I think 2024 is going to be a really good year. I think since interest rates are leveling out, hopefully they might go down. They talk about maybe, lowering the Fed rate, which will trickle down to mortgage rates. And I think people are getting used to the fact that, okay, mortgage rates are what they are. They were super low for way too long and not realistically low. But I think there's a lot of pent up demand. I was reading some stuff today that said our units for 2023 were down 25%. So that means a lot of people are just sitting on the sidelines waiting, and they can't wait forever.
Mm-hmm.
There's divorce, there's deaths, you want to move up, you want to move down, you want to downsize, you want to move out of the area or into the area. So it's going to people move for so many different reasons. So I think it's going to be a good year, but our inventory is so incredibly low right now. Granted, it's January, but it's still really, really low. And that's creating multiple offers already. So I hope we don't go back to 2020 and 2021, because that was kind of crazy. But we need more. We need more homes. We need more people to sell their homes and move up or move down.
So when typically you have so few houses on the market available, does that lend itself to a seller's market, or?
It's definitely a seller's market right now. Okay. Yeah, I think there's only 1.5 amount of homes on the market, 1.5 months of homes on the market right now. And it should be like between 5 and 6 to be a balanced market. So, I mean, we're way far away from that.
And what would be the, I won't say single most important advice, but maybe there's 3 or 4 points. It could be one, I'm not sure. But what would be the most important advice you would give to someone that's considering moving to Idaho or relocating here, what have you? And as it pertains to real estate and resettling here, what are some of the pointers you'd provide?
Do your homework and get a relocation guide and figure out what town you want to live in. Definitely get pre-approved with a local lender and know what your budget's going to be, because I think some people are shell-shocked by some of our prices and, what they want and what it costs. Find a good agent that you trust and you want to work with, and do some planning before you come to town.
Right. To be able to plan to shop and look in different areas.
Different areas. And I mean, I think it's always helpful when somebody comes to town, because I can completely know right away once I show a few homes, like what type of home they're looking for, what's important to them. It's hard to know that until you see somebody and show them a few homes. What type of area that you want to be in. It's all about location, right? You can always make the home whatever you want it to be, but it's all about the location. And that's important. And that's kind of hard, I think, for people that have never lived here before, like knowing where they want to live.
I've recently heard Eagle, the city of Eagle, referred to as the little Orange County, Orange County from California. And I see some of that. I mean, in fact, Kathy and I were from Orange County,
right?
And I do see and get to meet a lot of people from Orange County in Southern California. What other cities in Idaho do you see growing kind of at the same pace that Eagle is growing?
Well, Eagle's always been probably one of the most popular places, especially for people from California, just for its reputation and everything. And it's beautiful and rolling hills. I think Star is really growing. I mean, Star used to be just this tiny little town of 6,500 people or something like that. And now it's just growing, and there's tons of restaurants going in and lots of homes going in. I think, and it's butts up right next to Eagle. So I think that's natural. And it's right off of Highway 16, which is going to go all the way out to the freeway, which will help both Star and Eagle. Cuna's one that's really growing too. They used to just be like the opposite end of the valley, just like Star. But they're getting a lot more restaurants, a lot more homes. It's a little more country feel out there. But I think those two areas especially.
What about Nampa and Caldwell, for example?
Yeah, Nampa and Caldwell for Canyon County are definitely growing. As same as Middleton is huge for Canyon County too. Middleton's a great little town, and that's the town that's right next to Star. So yeah, I think all of the areas are growing because Boise, there's not a lot of new construction in Boise, and if you do have it, it's very, very expensive because it's up in the foothills or out in Harris Ranch.
Right.
So I mean, it's just got to grow more west.
Right. I would consider you, and again, I don't know real estate, and you've forgotten more about real estate than I'll ever know. But as far as I would consider you a full service agent, meaning that you come in and you provide your clients with full service of whatever they need. For example, you come in with recommendations for financing and lending. For you bring in your own inspectors, and you also have a litany, a long list of vendors who can do repairs and those types of things. And I think that's a huge plus, especially today, because there has to be a value add, right? And I think people are looking for that. And I also think that's why you have such a high client referral percentage because of that, and because you're so good with your clients and they value what you do for them. What are some of the other things you do for your clients that maybe set you apart or put you at the top?
Well, I do like to do everything myself, which is not a plus and a minus sometimes, but I am like all things. I list, I do buyers. I don't have an assistant or a buyer's agent. I like to do all of that myself and get to know the client personally, kind of like a boutique kind of agent, I guess. I also, a program I'm really proud of that I love to do is called Homes for Heroes. And that's when for community heroes like law enforcement, firefighters, teachers, nurses, and who else? Well, and military, I give back to them. So if they use me or a Homes for Heroes affiliate, but I'm one of the main ones in the Valley, I give back a portion of my commission to say thank you for what they do for us. And I've been doing that. This is my 11th year of doing that.
That is awesome.
So I love that. That's kind of like my little passion project.
That is so cool. I love that. And, with so many agents in the area, especially now with so many people relocating here, I know that competition can be fierce, but yet when you're as good as you are, it seems that you remain very busy and steady. And that's, again, a tribute to the service you provide your clients. So how would people reach you? For anybody that's watching today or listening, how would they best get a hold of you if they wanted to talk to you about real estate or get engaged with you to have you show them homes or what have you?
Okay. You can always reach out to me on my website. It's homesinboiseidaho.com.
homesinboiseidaho.com.
Yeah, it's long, but it's easy. homesinboiseidaho.com is my website, and my phone number is 208-870-9563. And you can call or text me there. I'm on social media too. I'm on Instagram as Julie Cendejas, and I'm on Facebook as Cendejas Group. But honestly, just calling or texting is the best way, or emailing me. Oh, email is just julie@homesinboiseidaho.com.
Julie@homesinboiseidaho.com.
Yep.
And last name Cendejas is Cendejas, Julie Cendejas. And
I always have to spell that out.
It's been an absolute pleasure having you today. I don't know if there's anything else you might want to add to for our listeners that would be helpful, but
no, this is great. I'm excited. What a great idea for a fun podcast about Idaho, Dan.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And thanks for being my first guest as well.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us again today on the Idaho Podcast with Julie Cendejas. And look her up if you're looking to relocate or buy a home around here. She's great at what she does. I'll look forward to seeing you again. Until then, Danny Ventura. Talk to you soon.